Jai Guru, everyone. Jai Guru, Namaskar to the Brahman within each one of you. And I have a very exciting place for you to have a look. You must be seeing it. Let me show you. You see this pond behind, and if you zoom in there, these are all filled with thousands and thousands of red lotus, red colored beautiful lotus, and it is supposed to be facing east of me. I'm facing west now, showing you the place. This is at a wonderful red lotus pond, and it's a beautiful name they have locally, and I'm so excited. I wish all of us were here and sharing it. And the east and west, I'm facing west, so you can't see my face in the, I wanted you to see that background. So I'm facing away, so your face may be dark and black, but a face is not important. Important is that we have been blessed to be part of this wonderful session together. And welcome. Let's start remembering our Supreme Mother of the Universe. Om. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome once again, and we are so divinely blessed to be together and experiencing this wonderful world of Vedanta, understanding, taking up the journey together towards realization. And realization, we will certainly get it before the end of this body. Yes, where in Bengali they say Shishu Chilam Jubo Holam. This is the song among the sannyasis, the monks. I was a baby, and then I became youthful, and then my body started aging, and I became middle-aged. And Jayate Asti Vardate Viparit Nakshate and Aparikshyate, decay, and then Nashate, death. This is what is going to happen to our, that's the body. And our journey today is understanding and looking at each one of your face. It is so exciting to know that we are going to do it. We will do it with the divine grace of the Mother, Babaji, Krishna, our beloved Gurudevas, Paramahansa Yogananda, Yukteswar Giri, Lahari Mahasaya, and very dynamic Karma Yogi, and a very special avatar, Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother, Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna. We shall. And we cannot afford to feel ever weak. Weakness is death. And life itself is growth, and we will go from spot to spot, to place to place. All we have to do is keep on practicing. This is one thing that we have to do. Not giving up. No lethargy, no lies. Lies and lethargy. These are the two biggest blocks. Holding on to the truth and the purity. And automatically you will see the truth alone, Satyameva Jayate, truth alone will take us across from place to place. I have gone ahead and taken on today's topic as what we did on last Sunday is the goal of meditation. I will switch it on. The goal of meditation. How do you like the beautiful waterfall out there? By the way, this is not the scene out here. This is just an animation. I'm divinely blessed to have people like Santoshji, you, and my team, Wasim and Mohan, and all of them are helping out. And most importantly, I call Sharadama as my divine mother. She is the one who is helping out all this. So going on the goal of meditation, I want you to understand the goal of meditation, and very interestingly, as I was sharing with you all on Thursday, in 1960s, 1970s, that is well after almost 80 years after Swami Vivekananda, 1893, about 70 years. If I take 1960s, about 70 years. After Vivekananda went ahead and established, and the beautifully Times of India came out recently, just about 5-6 years ago, a huge coverage on meditation, and they called it mindful meditation. And 1960s, 70s, it was first brought in 1893 by Swami Vivekananda, introduced to the world powerful yoga technique, in which Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he wrote it as Raja Yoga. And then he combined it, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. And a beautiful analogy, as I see it today, as I am comparing it with more and more, with understanding it, the concepts of our ancient masters. You see what Paramahansa Ramakrishna Vivekananda, Paramahansa Yogananda went ahead, and Yogananda went to US 1920. I think it was 19th of September, first put his foot into the American soil. And 1893, about 27 years before that, was Vivekananda. And it brought in that all religion will take you to oneness with the Param Brahman. Any religion. How is the logic? Logic is very simple. What Paramahansa Ramakrishna Vivekananda talked about, what Yogananda has also written in many places, particularly in God Talks with Arjuna, what is being brought about, Vivekananda strongly said, Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, Jato Maut, Tato Path. As many minds are there, that many. Vivekananda said, so many religion, why are you getting upset? Today, he said, that many billion of population, let there be that many religion. It does not make a difference as long as all road leads to that goal of self-realization. All road leads to Mumbai, metaphorically speaking. So here, what the logic over here is, what Paramahansa Ramakrishna Vivekananda talked about, I loved it. They say every religion has got either a bhakti yoga, love, theistic religion, or contribute by selfless work, devoted work. I work for God, so I work and serve you, karma yoga, or Raja Yoga, the path of meditation, path of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. For the Ramdevji, it got it very popularized in the world, though it was there earlier. Mahesh Yogi started 1960s, 1970s, called Transcendental Meditation. And then comes, in that Raja Yoga, it is not only that, it is also what Vivekananda brought in, that Raja Yoga is not just the breathing and the meditation, but going into beyond the yogic process. We are practicing as Kriya Yoga, is the supreme of the Raja Yoga. 108, there are parts in Raja Yoga, and the 108th one. So just see how lucky you and I are. We have been blessed, truly placed, and somebody is guiding us all the time. Can you feel it? Slightest of the wish, it happens. And I didn't have just example of today's session, I didn't have the bandwidth, I didn't have the Wi-Fi speed. So something contacted me, I contacted the GM, and very kind people and their operation director, they all personally took care, and I got almost 20 Mbps speed when I was having not even enough for the, check your speed, that apps, Okla, was not even registering last evening. And today, just see, you and I are getting connected. All the divine grace which is happening. So, what is it? All religion is taking us to that liberation, that self-realization, called moksha, called kaivalya, called any name, satori, various names are there. How is that? Because every religion practices either theistic religion, bhakti, or karma, service, or combination of two, or the meditation and combination of three, or all three plus cutting sword of the Vedanta knowledge, cut through the darkness and brings in the light. And notice this light is you and I. And this light is, whether it falls on a dirty pool of water or some dirty thing in the road, the light doesn't get dirty. Whether it falls on a holy river, Ganga water, the light doesn't become holy. And whether it falls on a pitcher of wine, it doesn't get drunk. Light remains detached. You and I are that light. So whether we have, imagine the simile, a disturbing situation of life, whether physical or mental stress and pain, or a terrible situation, and we say, you are to blame. You are the one why my whole life is got spoiled. This is how we talk about it, isn't it? Not that either, nor suffering, financial losses, job problem, COVID sickness issues. Nothing should deter because we are the light. We are detached. Asanga aham, asanga aham, asanga aham. Nothing can attach us. I shall get on to the slides to continuing. Where did I go wrong? I know some of you are saying, not like that, like this. There you are. So, meditation is popular around the world, and particularly the meditation had taken in many forms, starting with Swami Vivekananda. In the Times of India, it came out, not Times of India, it was Newsweek in the United States, and they did a coverage of meditation, and the front page had a big Om written on it, and that's how they covered the meditation. You can, it's about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's very popular. Many different styles of meditation in the world. Schools have come up today. And the recent it is mindfulness, including for children. You know, the small children who are very hyperactive, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, all the time frisking, looking here, looking there, looking there, looking there. For them also, they have a 15 seconds to 30 seconds to 20 seconds. And the moment, let's say young girl, 4, 5, 6 years old, hyperactive, running around. And mother has trained her with the teacher from meditation. What is it? All mother says, mindfulness. And the girl immediately sits down and takes 20-second breathing. What does she do? Follow the breath and calms down the mind. So it has got lots of benefits. In the meditation, calming down the mind helps you to fight stress. It goes ahead, and beauty is, Mahesh Yogi, he went ahead and told the world, if you do it, you look very young. You will have no suffering, no sickness, no disease, no external influences of the money and all that stuff will be coming in. Nothing will deter you, and you will live longer, and you will have no shortage of whatever you want in your life. It will come to you. So once Mahesh Yogi came down to India, his contemporary yogis who were growing up with Mahesh Yogi came down and said, Mahesh Ji, what are you teaching them? They were coming to know from the newspapers and all that, this is not what is meditation is for. Mahesh Yogi said something very nice, and I liked it. He said, I give them what they want, so that once their mind is set in, that what I'm giving them is helping them, then I will give them what I want. And that is showing them that that meditation, it is not just helping creativity or to improve focus. It is to go ahead and take them across into a different kind of a world, and where they realize it is for self-realization, understanding who am I. These benefits, whichever they talked about, they're all true. It is all true. But the path of meditation peaks on the way to enlightenment, to knowing. So now what happens? There are waves and waves and waves in the ocean. Right now, I'm in Goa, thousands of waves. I've been looking at the ocean, and remembering our analogy all the time. We think we are those each one of the waves, and those waves is we think we are, but that ocean, I say, huge. God is like that, and even though I know that I am water, but I say what? I come to know through Vedanta, waves are water, ocean is water. But I say, what do I say? I am a small wave. I have only that much of water. Ocean is so big. It has got all the water. So God can do anything. God has got all the power and the strength. I'm only this little bit. No, it's not the quantity. It's not the shape. It is not Nama Rupa Babuhara. It is not the quantity, neither the shape, neither the form. It is the concept, the content, water. Water in the dirty puddle, in the ocean, in the wave, in the rainwater, in the waterfalls is water. Composition maybe a little bit. Gold in the ornament, maybe 18 karat, 24 karat, or 22 karat, or 10 karat, it is gold. That gold concept is what we need to understand. So actual goal is to understand who am I. Reminds me, Ramana Maharshi, one gentleman comes down and said, Gurudev, I love to hear what you're talking about, but listen, I cannot do what you're saying. What is this who am I and Jnana Yoga and all that? I don't want to do all this. I believe in Lord Vishnu and I want to just worship Vishnu. Can I do that? Ramana Maharshi said, yes. And if I do that, the Bhakta says, when I die, will I go to heaven? Mahesh Yogi said, yes. Not Mahesh Yogi, Ramana Maharshi. He said, yes. So he said, if I go to heaven, will I meet Vishnu? I must have shared with you this before. It's so nice. Ramana Maharshi said, yes, I will meet Vishnu. Oh, wow. And will I be able to talk to him? Ramesh Yogi, Ramana Maharshi used to speak very little. He nodded his head. I'll be able to talk to him. Oh, Gurudev, tell me. What is he going to say? Ramana Maharshi, just with a gentle face, says he's going to say, find out who are you? Who am I? The same thing. So the meditation, yes, it calms the mind, but anchors the mind to health, to breath. Sasi Hanuman hai, mightiest of the mighty, Hanumanji. Just think, have you ever pondered Rama to cross the ocean had to call Nal and Nil and hold the mountain and the Jambuban, that is the bear brigade, and the squirrels to come and lay down the floating bridge. Hanumanji just once said, Jai Shri Ram, and he jumped across. That's the power of the, metaphorically, Vedanta is telling us, that's the power of our breath. That is why it is called Sasi Hanuman hai. So, sensations associated with the breath, noticing the movement of, let's say, the belly, at the belly moving in and moving out. This is what I'm talking about. This is Drigdrishya Viveka, has got 6 forms of meditation. I'm covering the first form of the Drigdrishya Viveka. Recollect Drigdrishya Viveka, what from Vijayanagar, Vidyaranya, about 700 years ago. It is not, by the way, nobody's name is written down there. But the scholars first thought it is Shankaracharya. But then they found that the language Sanskrit is not Shankaracharya style, but it goes more towards Vidyaranya style. So they have put it as Vidyaranya, that he had written it down. So he's saying this sensations as you're breathing in, whether movement of the belly, initially to start with, as we do the meditation, breathing in with our eyes closed, feel the up and down of the moving up the abdomen, feel the coolness of the breath, the tip of the nose, and feel just the breath. And then we take on the steps we have done it. From the breath, imagine as you're breathing in the entire possibility which the meditation can take us across to realization. Yes, we will be able to see God, Divine Mother, our Guru Devas. We'll be able to see them in the form that we want them to see them in the form. And some of you may be seeing it already. And then realize the supreme and realize oneness. We are water, not only the wave, the ocean, or puddle, or the mountain of Himalayas. It is that one water, is one consciousness in everyone. And that is called the oneness. Separatedness from the breath and the body, nama, rupa, babhara, name, form, and action, makes the samsara come into life. Separatedness makes I am separate from you. And the moment this separation comes in, samsara starts in, suffering starts in. So to keep your mind anchored further, a account is set up in the Vidyaranya's, this Drisha Viveka first form. So as you breathe in, let us do that. I'm closing my eyes, sitting appropriately. And this process is till the count of 10, as we talked about it Thursday. Breathing in and silently counting in mind. 1. Breathing out all the junk, all the diffusions, all the distractions, all the suffering, sickness, disease, lack of whatever we have. We don't like it with us. Lies, lethargy, alas. I'm throwing it out of the system. 2, 3, breathing in, and like that, count of 10. Now, what will happen is, because the mind is all the time jumping around. And as I'm breathing into 3, I suddenly said, that breakfast was very nice. I hope tomorrow's breakfast is something like that. I said, no. Mind, come back. It was 3. Go down, breathing out, it is 4. So coming back, bringing the mind, grabbing it, bringing it down to anchoring it with the breath. Scattered mind is bringing it to the breath. Remember, what does the yoga does is the calm down the wandering of the mind. So the monkey is jumping from one tree to the other, to the other, to the other. What do they do? Have you realized? They always travel by jumping, not climb higher and higher and higher. The tree is very high, but there in the lower, like yours and my mind is, not yours, all of you are very enlightened. Our mind is like that, jumping from one branch to the one branch to the one branch and going from one side to the other side to the other side, traveling from distances, traveling. Breath is anchored so that the mind does not keep on scattering like that, going to that thought. Okay, this was that kachori was very nice. I hope I will order for my lunch, like that. And I'm saying, no, forget about kachori. Come back to the breath, anchoring the mind. So what happens then? Beautiful thing happens. I gain control of my mind through the thread, like the kite, thread of the breath. First, the breath is anchored to the belly, then to the nostril, and then just the cool inflow, just the sensation. From there, the mind is focused onto the breath. I anchor the distracted mind like the monkey and make the monkey now not go from here to there, but climb the tree higher and higher and higher, go up and up and up until the top of the tree, where there are no more branches. There's only one branch, maybe he's holding on. He is in the top of the peak. Mind is calm. Now what happens? The third Yoga Sutra says, Tada Drishti Avasthana. It becomes the drishti. The mind becomes calm and focused onto one. So how do they cease? You cannot stop it by saying, there was one guru of yoga, he used to sit down for meditation. It happened once, he took on, there were some monks also learning, and one of the senior monk who came down to let's learn the meditation from him. And he was saying, he wanted to start up, he said, now think about the big toe and imagine that toe is feeling cool. This senior monk, he said, what nonsense. If I have to think about my toe, if I have to think of toe, I will rather think about Lord Vishnu's toe or Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's toe. Why should I think about my toe? And he got up and went away. So basically, understanding why is it that the most teachers take on from the body, because body is something which we are very comfortable with. We are always used to it. This body. Who is me? Robin Ghosh. Here it is. I straight away raise my hand. So we are used to this breath, used to this body, and it is good to keep on breathing because we are alive. So it brings us an easy way to translate, to focus, gain control of the mind. Tada drishti avasthana. It becomes calm state of mind. Calm state of mind. Now, there's a very beautiful statement. That statement says that mind is a beautiful, powerful servant. Mind in Dasabhav is very powerful, very good. But mind is a very bad master. If mind becomes your master, you had it. You are being taken around like that and etc. Now, I want you to many different way of those meditations. Stick to one which you're comfortable. I will show you one other way of the meditation. This is one with the breath of the counting, which we did. Whenever the mind gets wandered away, you go back. By the way, in this, the ground rule of the Drigdasha Viveka lesson 1 is that when the mind goes from 3 to 4 to 5, it has to climb the tree, 6, 7, and somewhere halfway through, supposing my mind had got distracted. And I said, oh, I was thinking about kachori. Was that 3 or 4? The rule says get back to 1. Again, start. Soon enough, mind is disciplined. Mind does not get distracted from here and there. And steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Again, start from 1, 2, 3, 4. And soon enough, you will find you have a beautiful control, which is within you. The second one, I'm going to show you. Look at this pen. It's the white color pen. I'm looking at the pen. What is happening? Light is falling on the pen. That light is entering my eye, and through the cornea, through the optical lenses, it is creating an image through the optic nerve into my neurons in the brain. And how from brain to the mind it goes, Western scientists has not as yet managed to find out, but the Vedanta talks about it goes to the mind because of the consciousness lighting up the mind, giving the power. Recollect our analogy, like the sun's light falling on the moon. Moon has no light, mind has no power. Mind with the moon. Moon has no light, mind has no power. But mind once gets reflective consciousness, from the consciousness, the light. Recollect the diagram I've shared with you all on Thursday and beforehand. The consciousness lights up the reflected consciousness part of the mind, which is called Western mind. Joseph Murphy, if you have read that book called Power of Subconscious Mind. It's a beautiful book, but it talks only at the subconscious level. You are now Vedantis. You got into the consciousness far, far ahead. But that reflective consciousness called the subconscious mind by Joseph Murphy and many Westerners. Very powerful. It can do a lot of things. When you train your subconscious mind, program it. Subconscious mind now through the senses experiences the world through the brain and the body. This is how is the mind is talking about. Now, I looked at the pen. What did I experience? An object called pen. Experience has to have, recollect, an object and consciousness. Two things. Without consciousness, I cannot experience the universe, the world, the pen, nothing. If I am unconscious, I can't. If I'm in coma, I can't. And dead is zero consciousness. Coma, unconscious, deep sleep, dream state, awakened state, they have varieties of consciousness becoming better and better. And focus concentrated totally is more or less. 100% is when you're absolutely in the meditative state, calm down, attain oneness. You and the consciousness not separate. Then you realize this consciousness is in everyone. All waves in the ocean and all water, they all has water in it. Now, next tip of the pen experience. Close your eyes. I'm closing my eyes. Is this an experience? I open my eyes. I have opened my eyes is an experience. I close my eye. Understand it. Very simple, but very powerful understanding. I close my eyes. It is an experience. I know my eyes are closed. Who knows it? My mind knows it, that eye is closed. And the mind knows it how? That is called the consciousness, called subject. And now I has become the object. Mind has become the object. Mind is an object, I is an object. Everything else, whatever you can experience without the description, whatever you can experience is an object. So you can experience your anger and love and jealousy. Tomorrow is 14th of February. So happy Valentine's Day to each one of you. I'm being guided to tell you the happiness of the witness, but this happiness is not that Western-minded love what they talk about. It is that oneness. That oneness is there in everyone, whether it's my partner, my husband, my wife, my children, my people, those who are dependent on to me, those who I am dependent on to. I find oneness among everyone. And most importantly, yes, most importantly, oneness with the supreme divinity. Paramahamsa Ramakrishna Yogananda, Babaji, Vivekananda, Holy Mother, Yukteswar Giri, Lahari Ma Sahib, and Krishna and Divine Mother, Jagat Janani. We all are one consciousness. There is no big consciousness, small consciousness. Consciousness is consciousness. And that is the understanding. This experiencing is now. My question is this in the different concept. Who is experiencing that? Who's the experiencer? Remember the story of the monkeys traveling from one tree to the other? I talked about it. So who is experiencing it? That through the mind is the consciousness. Consciousness is experiencing through the mind, through the senses, the world, the pen. Now become aware of the awareness of this subject. Subject is consciousness, is the doer, is the drashta, and drishya is object, everything else. So now the monkey, instead of traveling from one tree to the other through the meditation, the monkey is made to jump up and up and up and up and concentrating mind. Mind is calmed down. Most important, you make it your servant. You get control of that mind. And that real nature, Atman, is appreciated. You know, Vivekananda talks about very simple understanding. You see that lake in the picture that I put it up there. If there is a lot of ripple, if the water is muddy, I can't see deep down there. So if our mind is chanchal, disturbed, and shifting here and there and there and there, which is what happens to everybody's mind. Fraction of a second, you're sitting in London, Manhattan shopping mall. Another fraction of a second, you're sitting in Himalaya. You can travel so far. This is what the question was asked to Yudhishthir in the Mahabharata during his Mahaprasthan. What is the fastest thing in the universe? And he said, he had answered, this is the human mind. So that real nature of the human mind leading consciousness coming onto the mind is the consciousness, is the Atman. Swarupa Avasthana, we realize our true nature. Vivekananda says when the water is so muddy and chirpy and you can't see the bottom, meaning through the mind, you cannot see that oneness of the consciousness and the mind. Actually speaking, the light through the moon, if you look carefully and analyze it, is nothing else but the sunlight. The experiencing through the senses is because of that consciousness light. So what happens now? You become Swarupa. You understand the originality of the light and you focus in every activity of yours. It's my consciousness. My consciousness, Taittiriya Upanishad. Recollect, remember it. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Satyam, Sat, is existence. Jnanam is the consciousness. And Brahman, Anandam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Ananda is that supreme quality of the consciousness. We are Ananda. Why are we disturbed? Because we are suffering. And why are we suffering? Because we separate ourselves with the mind and the body. So the sword of the knowledge of Jnana Yoga cuts through and throws away the distractions of the mind and focuses us onto the true nature of us. Vivekananda's words, the lake becomes calm and crystal clear. You can see right till the bottom. Now, what is beyond the mind shines forth. Tada Swarupa Avasthana. Drishti Swarupa Avasthana. You realize your true self. You see yourself as you truly are. You're not this Nama Rupa Babahara, Mano Vritti Chitta Ahankara. I'm not that. I'm something else. And you realize that witness consciousness beyond the mind. Underneath that mind, shining upon the mind, you realize it's not the body, it's not the mind, it's the light of the consciousness, Chaitana. Anybody, 1st of January, called Kalpataru Divas, when Paramahansa Ramakrishna came down and very famous Girish Ghosh, a great writer of those days, very famous, like today is one of the top directors in the world. He was that time. And he had no faith at all. And from there, he transformed himself. And on that day, 3 days before his leaving body, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he came down from Kashipur, from the first floor down. He came down and Girish Ghosh and many other devotees were there to meet him. It was a Sunday. And Girish Ghosh comes and does pranam to Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Ramakrishna Paramahansa smiles and says, "What do you think of this one?" He pats himself. And Girish Ghosh says in beautiful poetic form, he was a great writer. And those days he made theater into the cinema world, started from Bengal and some other states, Bengal strongly, and made it into this huge Bollywood, Hollywood today in the world around. He said, Rishi Vyasa, Rishi Valmiki could not explain who you are. He was referring to Rama. Who am I to tell who you are? The Ramakrishna Paramahansa was very pleased. He smiles and he does, "May you realize right." And he realized instantly, attained that greatness of realization. And many people came. And anybody who came and did pranam to Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, "Tumhara Chaitanya ho, Tumhar Chaitanya hog." Chaitanya is the consciousness may dawn upon you. So one of my strongest prayer, along with throw away the lethargy, throw away the alas, throw away the mithya, throw away the lies, is bless us with Chaitanya so that I may realize who we really are, who all of us are, and who you are. And you and I are not separate. That's oneness. That I am the awareness shining through the mind, experiencing through the body, through the mind, and this world outside. And this is called vritti. It goes on to say in a Sanskrit word, Swarupa Yamitsaratta, realizing that vritti is the disturbance of the mind. That mindfulness is focusing that mind, in bringing the calmness of the mind. That is vritti, becoming calm. Vritti is the turbulent state of the mind, becoming one-pointedness. You don't say then, I am angry, because why? I'm experiencing anger. I'm upset at something. You don't say, I am angry. I am not angry. I am the drashta swarupa. I am experiencing the vritti of the anger in the mind of Robin Ghosh. I am not Robin Ghosh. Neither his mind, neither his body. This body will wither, it will degenerate, decay, and die. But I will remain. I is the supreme, that consciousness. I am not feeling great joy or boredom. That I am happy. I am the drashta as the consciousness, experiencing the feeling of the joy of the boredom through that mind. I am not that small I am that big I as the witness consciousness. So when the mind is not stilled, you, the witness consciousness, are mixed up with the mind, called that self-reflection, reflective consciousness. Reflective consciousness. Mind is mixed up with the self. But when you separate it, then you become. It takes time. Yoga Sutra says, Dhirga Kalena. It has to be Dhirga Kalena Nirantanya. Continuous practices and practice every day, every morning, every evening, year after year, other than begin to attain, then you will begin to attain that states of the mind where the mind is calm, mind is enough for you to realize, I am making the mind my servant and not the master of me. Then you appreciate that you are the witness and you go beyond the mind. This is what the yogis in Himalaya said, Man ke paar chale jao. Go beyond the mind. Man ke paar chale jao. So the Vedanta approach to the meditation called Nididhyasana. Shravanam, listen, ask questions, reflect upon it, called Mananam. Read more. Talk to people, ask more questions, find out the answers, discuss, attain Nididhyasanam. So in Nididhyasanam, through that pen, I will show you another one. One was the breath, movement of the belly, coolness of the nostril, then only the coolness, forgetting about everything else, only becoming aware of the coolness through the breath. And from there, you're going into the awareness. And that is what is the meditation. When you reach Jagrat, Swapna, Susupti, and then beyond the darkness and the blankness of the blackness of the deep sleep, a wall of no experience, I'm experiencing the no experience with my consciousness, and beyond that is the light of the consciousness. I am that light. Now this light is falling on my Jagrat state, on the pen, to make me become aware of the pen, of the world around, the people around. And in the Sapna state, through my mind and another body, another mind, another body, I'm traveling around the world. My body is lying on the bed, but the mind is now coagulating into various sceneries and the deep sleep state. All three, I'm aware because of my awareness, my consciousness. And then when I look into that lake, you see, just see this lake right now. If you see that lake, see the lake picture right now in the screen, what I have put it up. Can you see those trees there and the birds flying and the mountain? And I look at them and I ask Gurudev, supposing I'm talking to my Guru, I say, Gurudev, you said that lake is water. Where is the water? I can't see water. I can see tree. I can see the birds flying in the sky. In the lake, I'm seeing it, seeing the mountain, seeing the flowers. Where is the water? The Gurudev says, there. I say, where is there? I can see the trees and the mountain and the birds. Where is there? It is like you're seeing a TV film and you have told your student, I'm taking you to the picture, there is a huge white screen. And you will see in the white screen a beautiful picture. Krishna, Arjuna, Mahabharata is going to run. I'm briefing my students and I come in. Actually, this happened. A Vedantic example gives about a father taking a son from the village in a forest. Say, come, I'll take you to the city and show you a picture of Mahabharata. It just so happened, they walked in when the picture had already started. So the son did not see the white screen. So he has actually never seen a film, huge 70 film is going on, must have been 70 And he asked, after his initial excitement is over, he is asked, Dad, he said, what? Where is that white screen? Dad said, oh, it's there, right in front of you. He said, which one? That chariot? He said, no, behind that. He said, beyond that, meaning Krishna is sitting on top of it. Krishna is the screen. Dad said, no, beyond. He said, beyond that is Arjuna. He said, no, beyond that is all those soldiers. Oh, so it's the white screen of the soldiers. Understand the confusion. The dad said, no, beyond that. He said, beyond that, the sky, the blueness, is that the screen? Dad said, no. How does Dad explain now? How do I explain these? The reflections in water is not the water. It's lake filled with reflection. Our mind is filled with thoughts and anger and jealousy and greed and love and compassion. And we think that is who I am. I am the angry type. I am the calm type. I don't get angry. Thapliyal Saab will say, no, I'm always peaceful. Yeah? Thapliyal Saab? So, it is understanding the consciousness. You have to get the clarity of that mind status. Once you do that, and then you're coming into looking to the lake, seeing the tree, and you can see the water of the lake is, think for a second, that water was always there. But I failed to see the water. Why? Because I'm interested with what is reflecting on the surface. I fail to see my consciousness. I only see that what is reflecting through the mind, and the mind is giving me those vrittis and various kind of things. And that's where we are stuck today. So the Vedanta approach says, even now, without the yogic samadhi, when you are just reflecting, thinking, know that you are Chaitana, witness consciousness. Whatever you do, anything, eating, learning, sleeping, doing something, driving a car, it is because of that consciousness, which is always there. And then you understand Tada Swarupa Avasthana. So, Yogi would argue, yes, that's a line, but how would we know that? We are mixed up with the mind. I'm mixed up with the mind. How do I do that? So the yogi says, switch off the TV, pull out the plug, Don't get distracted. Don't look at that girl. Don't look at that boy. Go to the mountain. Don't live with your family. Stay inside the cave. Shut off the world. Yogi says that. Vedanta says no. Just now, it's only the samsara. It's only the screen. It's not the movie, whether hostile movie, Jurassic Park movie, or a love movie, 14th of February Valentine movie. It's just a movie which is reflecting through the screen, but the screen is real. Consciousness is real. Similarly, through the consciousness helping the mind to understand. And the Vedanta says, even when the mind is functioning, you can realize that you are the witness consciousness. You can realize, understand this, it's very powerful, very simple, and the truth. Being in the samsara, playing the role of the father, mother, husband, wife, office person, yogi, Vedantis, a monk, live with the consciousness alone, and you will set your mind free. You can also use the functioning of the mind. You don't need to stop it. Movie can go on, but you know, I'm not the wave, I'm not the ocean, I'm not the dirty water, the puddle on the street. I am that ever pure water. And you will recognize your true nature. I am Aham Brahmasmi. That Atman is the consciousness with which you are going ahead. So how is it done? Through the pointers. I talked about the pointer. Method 1, the pen in the hand. I showed you. You have experienced it. How does your attention go away from the pen to your eye? You just drop the pen. Pointer 1. I'm dropping the pen and I am closing my eyes and then opening my eyes. I'm experiencing through the mind. But what is experiencing is the drashta. It's the consciousness through the pen. Through the eye, I realize what? I'm aware of what? My eyes are closed, my eyes are open. I need lens, I need spectacles. I can't read very well. Who's realizing it? The consciousness through the mind, through the eye. So this consciousness itself, you can note the reality of the consciousness application through the mind, through the senses, through the body, and the world around. The world comes into the being, into our reality, whether it is Goa or Pune or America or New York or Manhattan or NYU. It is through the senses, the world outside, it exists. With a beautiful statement, it comes to my mind. You've read Shankaracharya's. You know the difference between Shankaracharya, Vivekananda, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. Shankaracharya says, Jagat Satya, Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satyam. Stand corrected. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Jagat is not real. You know what Paramahamsa Ramakrishna Vivekananda is saying? He's saying, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Satyam. Jagat is also real. You are in this world. You say, come on, sir. You say, ignore it. How can I? This is real. I have to deal with it. I feel pain in my skin. So what is it saying? In the Vedantic method, it's saying that detachment comes in from knowing. So Viveka, giving you Shata Sampatti, Viveka Vairaga, Shama Dama Uparati Titiksha Samadhana Shraddha Mamukshatta Mamukshatta Mamukshattam. This Shat Sampatti takes you to what? Viveka. Viveka makes you realize this is not real. It is only a film. It's only the samsara. I have to act and seeing consciousness in my husband, in my wife, in my children, in the people, in the wall, in this table. I say this is a wooden, it's a table made of wood. Yogi will say, no, this is not wood, this is a table. I say, but table, if I touch, do I say touch table or do I say touch wood? Don't we do that? Touch wood. Sometimes we say touch wood like that. Yogi says, no, Only when the table is smashed into dust, then it becomes wooden dust. Vedantists say, no, that any part of this table, anywhere you touch, bottom, top, left, right, legs, if the wood is not there, table vanishes. If the water is not there, the waves and the ocean vanish. If the consciousness is not there, you and I are dead. So that what is shining through my thoughts is something in which my thoughts appear in the mind. And that mind has got mano, vritti, it's that appearances of the mind, and it is appearing, going into what? Intelligence, ego, ahankar, memory, and mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. I am experiencing the world, all of that because of the Chaitana, consciousness, which is Ishvara, which is God. And that's why we say God is everywhere. My friends, my colleagues are helping me out from there, seeing it is nearing 1 hour. So the method 2, the meditation, closing your eyes, I will give you one more example. The second method. First one, breathing, and then the pen came in. These are called pointers. Through the pointers. How do I do that? Yogi asked, no, how do I do that? So the pointer 1 was through the becoming awareness of the eye closing, eye opening. Pointer 2, I would like you all to try this out right now. Close your eyes, sit still. Now open your eyes, look at the sky. I can't look at the sky because I've turned my back to it, but I have to look around like that. Blue sky, beautiful sky. Now, I can see the sky. Now, sitting properly, close your eyes. I'm continuing to visualize the sky, the blueness. And now, drop the sky willfully, powerfully. Drop it and see only the light. The light which makes me see the blue sky. That light is the consciousness. Another one, which I've given you on your slide, you may go through it. Close your eyes again. Concentrate on any sound around your house, wherever you are. Concentrate on the sound. Even if it is silent, besides my voice, concentrate on the sound. I'm experiencing sound of some chirping of insects and a crow cawing away. I open my eyes. Who is experiencing the chirping of the insect? Who is experiencing the crow's call? That is that pointer. So, that breath, pen, sky, focusing onto the sound, my consciousness through the mind, through the thought, through the senses, through the world is experiencing what? The consciousness. These are the pointers through which, to make it work, you have to practice it. So, the other way to get into trying to say this awareness, this focusing of the mind can be done. You have to make the effort. Distraction of the mind, monkey jumping from tree to tree, you have to bring it back through the pointers. Through the breath is the pointer, coolness of the awareness of the pointer, the pen is the pointer, sky is the pointer, chirping of the sound is the pointer. So now, there was once traveling in a plane and there was a baby crying loudly next to it, screaming, very irritating. Nobody could quieten. Poor mommy was trying her best. I said, let's see if I can meditate. What did I do? I became aware of that crying, that my awareness is bringing that loud screaming into my ear, and then shifted, dropped the sound, become aware of the awareness. And I had a pretty good meditation at that day, and I felt very happy, very great. I said, wow, Robin Ghosh, it's okay, it's working. So it can be done. Distracted mind in this methodology, the biggest problem in the meditation is the distraction of the world. Loud music, even that mosquito coming and doing, even that distraction, even that angry mind, distraction, even that person, how did she say like that to me? Even that is who's experiencing, who's witnessing it, who's distracting me, my problem of my family, my friends, my office. What is experiencing it? Not the mind. The mind is becoming the pointer. I'm experiencing it because of my awareness behind the mind, beyond the mind. And that itself is now making me attain this awareness. Who we truly are is that consciousness. It has to be recognized. It has to be noticed through practices. And this is why Dirgha Kalena, Nairantan is what is given down in the Vedanta. It can be even objectified. You can watch the film, you can be in the samsara, but no. 14th of February, Valentine's Day, is knowing your partner, your friend, your beloved, and everybody around. It doesn't have to be only men and women. It can be any object. Is that one consciousness, Brahman? That is where it says, I am Atman Brahman. Realizing, Anubhava Vakya. Remember, Prajnana Brahman is knowing, consciousness is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, I am, is what? It is, you're searching for Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Where is this Brahman Aham? I'm searching for it. Tat Tvamasi is Upadesha Vakya. Guru is telling, Shwetaketu, you are that. And then, I am Atman Brahman, Anubhava Vakya. In the Aham Brahmasmi is Anusandhana Vakya. Aham Brahmasmi is Anusandhana Vakya. I'm searching. And I am Atman Brahman is Anubhava. I'm feeling it, that feeling, realization. So now, this is what I had drawn the drawing. That day, I had showed you on the slide paper, which I use for our teachers, parents, and students. So this is the sea with the big consciousness sea. And this is the consciousness light. It's showing on the mind. And let's say this is an external object on the extreme part of the right. I am this person, Robin Ghosh, with the mind and with my senses and the body. Pick up the object because light reflects on it onto my eye, coming into the mind. I see the object because consciousness lights up my mind. This consciousness, if I cut it off, I'm dead. Understanding, this is called Chitta Vritti Duksha Nirodha. In yoga process, Patanjali is saying Chitta Vritti. Vritti, that disturbance is Chitta Vritti Duksha Nirodha. It calms down the mind. So you realize it's an external object. Why we are experiencing it? Because of the vritti, that when I see it, it creates the memory and a disturbance in my mind, which in turn is now picked up by the consciousness experiencing. I am experiencing this external object. It's a thought. It becomes a thought in the mind, and that thought is illumined by the consciousness. And then I, as a practitioner Vedantist, I say it is my subject, my drashta, my consciousness, my chetana is experiencing that object. Going into the next, can you see the light? You see that this light coming into constitutes the image in the lens, in the eye, and the table is gone. It is just an image in the lens of my eye. And again, that gets converted into electrical impulses into the optic nerve, transmitted through the same center into the brain. Two neurons make a connection in the brain and becomes one mind, one synapses in the brain. Synapses are permanent. Did you all know that? Neurons take birth. You'll be surprised, 250,000 neurons per minute from mother's womb. 250,000, 250 and 30. It makes it 15 million, 1.5 crore per hour. It makes 36 crore, 3.6 billion per day, 24 hours time. Those many neurons are getting birth, but they die if we do not give them data. So what happened to you and me? We had the same potential. We were all born brilliant, genius. Only our parents and teachers had to give us data, information. Why did Rama Lakshmana with Valmiki become great? Because Valmiki kept on giving them data, information. This is what we try to do in our school. So now that data, information become the vritti through the mind, through the consciousness. I start to realize it through the lens, optical nerve, through the mind, and it becomes, I realize it into the image that presented into mind. How? It's not a body. It is the mind advanced neuroscientific parameters, conditions today give us the understanding only up to the brain. They have, Western science have no clue. How does it go from mind to understanding it? They cannot. They tried through EEG and various, all they do that certain waves becomes in. Consciousness cannot be charted, cannot be pointed out, cannot be captured, cannot be seen. It is beyond through our five senses cannot. Some other time I'll cover it. Why Vakya cannot express Brahman. So we are going into the memory up to the awareness, and you get the experience, the first person experience. I see the table, I see the pen, I see the sky, I can hear the insect. It is by my awareness alone. That awareness in the meditation is giving me what? Awakened world, Jagrata. Swapna state is my sleeping state, and deep sleep state is the Sushupti. I'm experiencing all these three states, Mandakya Upanishad. In the fourth state, Turiya, is the awareness, is the consciousness, is getting me as the light, experiencing the no experience of the deep sleep, the dream experience of the swapna, and the Jagrat experience of the world around. But it is because of the awareness, that consciousness, that Chaitana. And now I know I am that Chaitana. Focus on that. You will be seeing it. Even a monkey like me, it happens to me. Some of you are great yogis. You forget your body drops away. And it reminds me once, Holy Mother Sharada, and she had one very close maid who used to be always with her, a disciple. Her name is Radhu. And Radhu was sitting there and mother was meditating and she went into Samadhi. Holy Mother Sharada, who is Paramahansa Ramakrishna's holy consort and the Guruma of Vivekananda and all the Ramakrishna Paramahansa. When she came out and she said, Radhu, where is my hand? Where is my leg? Amar hath kuthai, pa kuthai. She couldn't feel. And you'll be surprised. You and I will experience that maybe momentarily for a while. You will find, and slowly when the feet and the hands will come into being, it will tingle, little pain, but it's a beautiful experience of knowing that I am lit up by that awareness. I got the experience of the first person. We will do it, and we are continuously doing. I am seeing the table, the mind is seeing the table through the senses. And you will remember that desire, hate, they're all vrittis in the mind. You become what? Compassionate, kind. And you know what you do? Most important, Holy Mother Sharda used to say it again and again. Most masters, Jesus Christ has said it. Kingdom of heaven is within you. What did Holy Mother say? Bengali, she says, Onnir dosh dekhbe na. Don't see fault of others. This is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is not finding faults of people or finding out how bad they are and how terrible they are, or they are very good and very nice. I love him and love her, but, and we have a big list of what I don't like about that. Nobody can directly experience the world without this consciousness, without the Chaitanya. So here is the monk. So what does she say? The monk is saying, we are disturbed because our mind is disturbed. It is not that the world is disturbing our mind. It is not the world is disturbed, which in turn is disturbing my mind. It is not the child shrieking or the crying or the behavior of my partner or my children or my boss or my junior or my servant or the dacoit or the thieves. No, it is because my vritti in the mind is disturbed, which in. So this is why the monk says, Shant man mein sansar bhala kisne dekha hai. Samsara is separation. Recollect, me, my name and form and body and the mind, I'm separate from everybody. Samsara comes in. Samsara is separation. And that, he says, Shant man mein, when the mind is calm and beautiful and serene, it is one with the consciousness. How can you see the samsara? Samsara drops away and you attain what you call kaivalya, or you attain that awareness of the calm mind. A simple people or grandmas, often you will find, grandma, when you go there, how are you, grandma? She will say, my knee is paining, my back is paining, I can't see. You and I have been hearing, but still, remember when you were growing up, I remember I used to be very naughty, very mischievous. And my father's mother, my mother's mother, they used to all live with us in a big zamindar house. And I remember I used to be very mischievous. And my mommy, if she complained, my father never complained, never said anything ever. My mother used to say to my grandma, look at this, what he has done. And she used to call me Bichu. I was so bad. Can you imagine? I laugh at myself today that what I used to be. And my grandma used to say, Theek ho jayega. This is what? That compassion. You attain becoming one with that witness. Drashta. I'm not the drishya. I'm not the cessation of the minds, that vritti, disturbance. Samsara appears to us because of the disturbance of the mind. And if you have a peaceful mind, Shant man, samsara drops away. So what does the yoga do? It calms down the vrittis in the mind and it makes you have a control on the mind. So mind becomes your servant, very powerful, subconscious mind, servant. Not mind is the master. Then you and I, we are like a monkey. So the mind and not the body, the person you thought you were is not you were. You are that consciousness, ever blissful, ever loving, ever caring. And this is what is called Chitta Vritti Nirodha, brings you Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Infinitely blissful is that awareness in which you and I are functioning, appearing at the body and the mind and doing our things. Consciousness compared to a space, a luminous space, the sky I talked about. Close your eyes, watch the sky, beautiful sky, Close your eyes. Visualize that sky in your mind. And now, willfully drop the sky. You can do it. It's a brilliance of light, thousands of sunlight. That is who I am. I am that light. And this is, by the way, is in Kashmiri Shaivism. There are 120 meditation technique. One of them is called Vijnana Vairava. I've given you the name. 112, not 120, 112 techniques of meditation. This sky dropping away is one such meditation technique in Vijnana Vairava. So that I talked about it already, about the sky. Look at the sky and luminosity, drop the sky, and you drop the mind when what is left is the consciousness, is the brilliance of light. So emptiness of the mind is the mind without vritti, without object. Yet you're experiencing the mind, otherwise you would not be able to experience the emptiness. Emptiness, calmness of the mind, emptiness without object, you can only do it when you can experience that calmness of the mind. Now the consciousness and mind has become one. This is what is called man ke paar chale jao. So awareness of the Vedanta approach has got two problems. I must make you aware. One problem is the yogic approach is difficult to control the mind. So what do you do? Viveka Vairag. Knowing what is real, what not real. Vairag, have a detachment with what is not real. Be in the samsara, but be detached. And then practice shama, control of the mind. Dhamma, control of the senses. Practice. Uparati, control the senses and bring it inward instead of outward. We are doing what? Success, where is it? There. Money, where is it? There. That business. Love, where is it? That lady, that man. Happiness, where is it? Go to Goa, go to Norway, go to New York. So we always thinking it is out there. Uparati, bring it inside. And titiksha, hold on to it. I'm not going to let it go till I attain. Samadhana, the power which it attracts it, and now I utilize it to reflect and expand the mind. Shraddha, I don't understand what the hell is all this Vedanta and all that, but let me make an effort. Let me do some reading. Let me ask some questions. Let me listen with care. Automatically, you will attain Mamukshattam, Mamukshattam, Mamukshattam. Shraddha is the respect. My maths teacher is teaching. I can't understand integral calculus. It is to happen to me. But I have respect for my teacher. What he's saying must be there's something. I have respect for the book. So have respect for Upanishad, of Vedanta, of Quran, of Bible, any book will lead you. Follow them. Remember, all four yogas combined together, it comes to Upanishad. But each one of the yoga will also take you. And all religion utilizes one form or the other yogic principle. So the problem of impossibility of quietening the mind, problem takes a long time. Tamasic to Rajasic to Sattvic. Tamasic, tamas, nature, anger, jealousy, greed, etc., etc., etc. And then going into Rajasic. I love this thing. I love that thing. I love that iPhone 12. And going into, I love my scene. Watch them be a part of the film, but with detached mind. And then Sattvic, automatic. But Sattvic, beautiful explanation. Paramahansa Ramakrishna used to say, Tamasic is an iron chain. It binds you. Rajasic is silver chain. It binds you. And Sattvic is also a chain. It's a gold chain. But it still binds you. You have to drop all of them. And then only you become that, attain what we talk about, that Dirgha Kalina for a long time, then Nirvantarya, you have to continue to practice, then you attain that oneness. In the Vedantic approach, the difficulty is to settle that mind, but solution is there by the The problem, one, when one begins to understand, one gets the sense that it is effortless. Problem one goes away. Problem two, your sense that it is instantaneous. But the moment your advantages of this, that you realize that obstacles also lead you to the positivity, and it leads you to laziness. One way I know, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, so it's okay, I will do it maybe later on in my life. I'm too young now, enjoy the world. This is another problem, and it brings you from laziness and positivity. I know I can, and from there, that comes a pause. I'll give a break. It's okay, I don't have to do it every day. And this approach demands constant engagement. So there is happiness. Happiness, as per, there is one Professor Martin, he's supposed to be very famous. Professor Martin, those of you who heard my little bit of 1 minute in, what is it called? Reel. Yeah, we talked about, it is called PEM. Professor Martin is talking about P is pleasure. We think happiness is pleasure. I must eat that ice cream, that golgappa, then I will be happy. So, pleasure. I love to watch cricket. Pleasure. But next is E for engagement. PEM. E for engagement. Professor Martin said, better than pleasure is engagement. If you play that cricket, you're more engaged, more happy. And he goes on to say that last, number 3, is meaningful life. If you go from P and E, pleasure and engagement, to meaningful life in which you're engaging yourself, but in the welfare of other people. How can I make you happy? Hey, tomorrow, 14th February, come on, go and tell your partner, how can I make you happy? How can I make, and partner doesn't have to be men and women. It can be your parent, you can friend, your children, anybody around. How can I make you happy? What can I do for you? A beautiful Ranganathan, Swami Ranganathananda, president, I think he was the 13th president in Ramakrishna Mission. Ranganathananda, 13th president, he used to say, understand, so beautiful. He used to say, when I close my eyes, I am all peace within. I'm connected with my consciousness, awareness. I'm in peace. And when I open my eyes, mark you, he says, when I open my eyes, I say, what can I do for you? With that, we go into the yoga, gives you Jnana Yoga, the way of the knowledge, inside, open, available to us all the time, everywhere. Breath is available. So whether you're walking, drinking, talking, dancing, you can use your consciousness, be aware. Sound of the chirping of the insect, to the baby's noise, to the noise of the loud music, you can still, in the fish market, you can meditate. And in the path of jnana, you know what is distracting you. You know what is distraction. You focus on that, what is distracting, as an object, and you drop it by saying, it is only an object, not important, and use that, become aware of that, which brings the awareness of the distraction of the sound. And then you will see that consciousness will make the mind turn inwards. That is Uparati and Samadhana. So whatever it is disturbing the mind is now pointing it back towards the real self. So this is the great advantage of Vedantic method. This is Drig Drishya Viveka's first principle. Whatever is disturbing you, mosquito noise of distracting you, you point it inwards towards awareness. And instead of conceptualizing, theorizing, you're actually experiencing it. And it also uses the intellect, the buddhi, to understand something. You understand it, you make it real. And because of the Viveka Vairag, you drop it. You know it now. Jnana Yoga, you know, and would like to have the answers. You get the answer within your own. All of them are good answers, provided they all point you back towards that awareness, awareness, awareness. Chetana, 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 where it takes you right now. You can hear my voice, you can see me in the screen, and tendency is to intellectualize, brain analysis. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. Now, instead of that, here is my thinking about it. Think about a question, ask the question, listen to it, and then you get to that awareness. Any question from any one of you? It was lovely sharing with you all. And my pranam and namaskar to each one of you. Do you have any questions, any doubts? You're welcome to ask. Let's start off, close the session. It's a beautiful Sunday. Go ahead and end with a prayer. We will pray with the same I love this. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Meaning, ये पूर्ण है, वो भी पूर्ण है. पूर्ण से ही पूर्ण का जन्म होता है. जब पूर्ण को पूर्ण से ले लिया जाता है, पूर्ण ही रह जाता है. This is Purna, that is Purna. Purna takes birth from Purna. When Purna is taken away from Purna, Purna doesn't diminish, it remains Purna. And most important, with my pranam to each one of you, you are that Purna. Jai Guru.